The Garden Report is powered by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Hey, Bobby Manning here. Celtics winners in Game 4 of this series, 102-88. They take a 3-1 lead. Josue Pavon here in Miami as we finish out maybe our last game of the year here. Celtics, of course, need to take care of business in Game 5 at home on Wednesday. But they're on the brink of putting away a Heat team that looks pretty demoralized at this point offensively. Another brutal game from them in this one with all the absences, Duncan Robinson, Kevin Love, and even your guy Patty Mills not able to make a big difference in this game in their spot appearances.
I thought that was a game for him to get extended minutes. I don't know if I call him my guy, but yeah, maybe we get some of that in Game 5. Either way, I don't think that he should wait till they're down like 25 to put him in there, man. Give him some minutes. Give him some early playing time.
The story of the night, alongside Kristaps Porzingis' injury, which we're going to talk about in the next video, so you can head over there for conversation about that. Derrick White, who scored 31 points before the end of the third quarter. I think there was about 4 minutes left when he got there. Started 5 of 7 from 3. I think finishes with 7 from deep. Aggressive, assertive, decisive against the zone. The Heat played a ton of zone in this game, more than I saw at any other point in the series. The Celtics devastated it with their passing, which I thought was great. Holiday and others. You had to go to Al Horford in the second half, and I think he always helps with the pace. But White got the ball into the zone quick, made some aggressive moves, got inside when necessary, and he did have that Mills matchup on him in the second half, and he took full advantage of it. So I'd say probably the most aggressive and effective scoring night we've ever seen from Derrick White here in a Celtics uniform.
Yeah, absolutely, Bobby. I agree with that, especially because it wasn't just about the plethora of three-point shots. It was the Miami Heat trying to intimidate him at the rim, and he showed no fear in terms of obviously those two poster dunks, especially the one against Bam Adebayo. I just think that when you look at White's fearlessness, that's the type of stuff that the Miami Heat, like even when they try at their best, because they have like their focus is so tight on Tatum and Brown and making sure that those guys don't get off that. He's sort of that guy who gets those open looks. I mean, he broke that zone defense, in my opinion, with his open shots, with his three-point shots, but also he just couldn't, everything opened up for him. And it was like the Miami Heat were like, oh, he's going to cool off. But it was like, no, he never did. And I just felt like that constant thorn to the side of the Miami Heat made a humongous difference throughout the first half. It continued on even without Kristaps Porzingis. And that 4-minute, almost 5-minute scoring drop for the Celtics in the fourth quarter. Who is it? Derrick White beating the 24-second violation with the huge three that I thought really kept the Heat at bay for good, because the Celtics kind of found their offensive rhythm as a team, as a cohesive unit, and they were able to close out the Heat. But it was all because of Derrick White, if you ask me.
They needed a tough shooting night for Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, erratic at times in this one too. And they didn't have a great couple games down here offensively. It was a defensive stand for them in these last 2 wins. Right. But to get a guy who's finding those open cracks in the Heat zone and some of the tough defensive looks that they're showing the Celtics here, I think it goes back to what we've talked about, is the more he's involved, the better this offense looks. Yeah. And this has been an inconsistent series for his involvement. I know they're always going to say, oh, it's the matchups and we put the ball where it needs to go to attack those. You want White on the ball a ton, even if it's just him setting up those guys, being in the action. Joe Mazzulla said after the game they went to guard screening. They spaced with the bigs. So he's involved in those plays again and again. You had Tatum screening for White and vice versa. Holiday White combined on a play where White did like a standing dunk underneath the rim. I didn't even know he had that in him.
Straight up.
So
sleep on his vertical leap, Bobby. I'm telling you. I mean, this is something that we mentioned before during the season. I think it was A. Sherrod actually was like, yo, for you guys that don't know, he does this. And I remember him putting up, I think it was practice highlights or maybe before a game, and then it happened in the game like that same week. So he's prone to do this from time to time, but tonight he just let that thing go, man.
The only other story from this one, White amazing. Jayson Tatum injured as well. And like I said, we'll get to Porzingis' injury, but Bam Adebayo comes up under him after a foul by Mills on White in the screen that set up Tatum. And Bam charged with a flagrant. Tatum said he injured the same ankle he did in the finals, as well as some other spots. The Game 7, of course, most notably, that limited him immensely in that loss last spring. Here he is talking about it and the feeling he had on the ground.
I mean, yeah, it was just that, and I don't want to make it a bigger deal than what it is. Just a little play, I wasn't tripping, moved on, kept playing, was worried about the rest of the game.
And just while you're down there, Al is leaning into the refs. I mean, what was it like to see Al come in there and show a level of fire that we don't usually see?
No, I mean, that's the OG, man. It's, we all on the team together. We all brothers. So, right or wrong, you gotta ride with your brother.
So we'll see how he comes out of this. Joe thought he was fine. I thought Tatum looked fine coming off the podium too, but some level of concern from him in those comments there, saying that it's a tweak of the past ankle. He didn't want to make a big deal out of it, obviously, but it might be something that impacts him, especially if they do have to play 2 games in the series. Back to your point, they got to wrap this up.
No, they do, absolutely, and especially when you think about you don't have that extra travel day like you did in the on the way over here. They had that extra day, and with ankles, man, it really is how it feels and how it looks the next day, the morning after, I should say. In terms of swelling, what kind of pain he's gonna have to deal with. If you ask me, I'd be surprised. Hopefully it's nothing serious, because if not, Tatum's playing. I mean, I just think he's that kind of player, and especially with how important it is to close this series out, knowing that they're going into Game 5 without Kristaps Porzingis, knowing that getting more rest now when you have the Orlando Magic and Cleveland Cavaliers still going at it, a series that could very well go the distance. You want to take as many days off as you can at this point of the season, because these opportunities may not come back around, when you look forward, or when you look ahead rather, to the rest of the postseason. But I said it in the Celtics post-game show, I don't think these guys are looking ahead at all, which is a really good indication of where their head's at, and their mindset going into Game 5. You have to finish this thing off. You're going back home. I know that hasn't been a great spot for these guys in the postseason all the time. But I think that it's super important for them to get this thing done. Again, for their mental, in terms of where they want to send that message to the Miami Heat, and also knowing that you'll get that extra rest if you're able to close this thing out in Game 5, even without Kristaps Porzingis.
38 for White in this one. Tatum finishes with a couple flagrant free throws after the Bam Adebayo foul there, and they wrap it up 102-88. 3-1 now the series. Celtics go home, can clinch the series over the Heat on Wednesday, 7:30 at TD Garden. As Josue mentioned, they'll play a Game 5 in Cavs Magic on Tuesday night, so check that out as well. Celtics going to face the winner of that series whenever those two are decided here. But for now, heading back to Boston. He's Josue Pavon. I'm Bobby Manning. Thanks for the support. And support our sponsors. They're a big reason we're able to do these kind of trips. PrizePicks.com/CLNS for a discount, for a matching deposit rather, over there. Just pick 2 players, more or less, and you're off on our official daily fantasy sports partner. And check out our new partner here, the Game Time app. Head over there and get a discount on your first tickets. Could be Game 5 if you want to see this series end in Boston, potentially. Check it out on the Game Time app. Again, check them out at the link below here. And that's it. We're done. Miami, that's a wrap. Thrilled to have been here. Let's go home. I don't think we'll be back, but we'll see. Crazier things have happened. He's Josue Pavon. I'm Bobby Manning. This has been The Going Report. Hey, Bobby Manning here. If you made it this far, you probably enjoyed our video, so subscribe to our channel for all content. Hit the bell for notifications, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS.